Welcome to the Land Your Bet Sports Betting Show live stream. Got a lot of people in here already, man. Appreciate you guys. Going to look at some of the bets that you guys have as always. Going to be looking at the Celtics and not Celtics and Cavs. That was yesterday. Going to be looking at these Pacers and Knicks, which I don't feel great as a Knicks fan, but we'll look at that game. I got a couple bets already up. They are streaming on the bottom line per usual. So if you missed the video from last night that came out, projections and some best bets for today already, go ahead and make sure you subscribe to that page. Continue to follow along all season. Get this stuff early. Head into the Discord. If you're not there, just plug in this stuff while we wait for people to get in the stream real quick. We do have this going every day now. Moving forward, this is a live and hot and popping. I will say that, and mostly just because everybody jumps in there and we get a good community look at stuff. Like we just got a ton of people looking at everything all at once. So we got a lot of eyes on stuff, which is helpful. Appreciate you guys jumping in. If you do, if you can also keep me posted, if we get any injury updates, that's always helpful. So much appreciated there. Let me take a look at some of these bets in the comments, and we'll get going there. I'm gonna put some in right now, and then we're gonna keep it going with some of the bets that I already got in here. So we got the squad in here. Free Sauce, got Street Cred. What's up, Richard Lockhart? I believe I was talking to you earlier, bro. What's good, Aramis? Yes, sir. We got Street Cred coming in again. Jeremiah, what's good, bro? We got Flo Farrow in here and Rockstar. We got 36 Chambers. We got a look already from Rockstar at Nemhard Assist, so we can get that in. What's good, Justin? Welcome. Good to have y'all in here, and Ramon as well. Yeah, we're popping today. We got to find some good bets today. We did all right yesterday, but let's keep it going. Yeah, we got Timothy Thomas in here with the good look. Don't forget to hit that like button. Larry Stone Cold, always good to have you in here, fam. Alec Burks over. I got that rolling on the bottom line right now, fam. So if you want to look at that in there, that is a bet that I'm playing. I'm a little bit torn between he and Miles McBride. I'm interested to hear what some of the homies have to say about between those two because I think they're going to take shots from each other. So we want to look at some of that stuff. I'm going to get back to some of these bets. Let me put them in here before I forget for now. We'll start with that Knicks Pacers game before we move to Nuggets and Timberwolves. I like a lot of stuff today. I had a lot of bets yesterday too, but I saw a look for Obi. We should look at Obi. What else should we look at here? We got Alec Burks in there. Yeah, Boston didn't cover. That's for sure. What's good? Honestly, bread. Achiuwa. Yeah, we should look at Achiuwa from Daniel Rodriguez. That's a good call. I'll look at Precious. See what we like with him because 6.5 points. He didn't play very much last game, but I know my boy Prop Holiday is on that right now as well. All right, I'll throw this in for Ty Dixon for the next game we're gonna look at. We'll put Jamal 21.5 points. Interesting stuff with Jamal. Yeah, we gotta look at what he's got, but I'm not positive. He keeps getting those dimes, to be honest with you. Now, Joker is somebody who assists more at home than he does score, but we'll look at both of them. Yeah, Hartenstein under on the boards. It's an interesting play right there from you, Joshua Taylor. Solid name. Let's see. Let me put I already just forgot who you said. My bad. Hartenstein. Yeah, we should look at Hartenstein. I don't have anything up for him. Hartenstein we're throwing in. Keep it going here. Get a couple more. Ooh, Brunson under on the rebounds from Free Sauce. We can look at some other Brunson unders. me and my Knicks homies we're down bad right now, man. Like that OG injury was pivotal. Not looking that. I don't think he's hitting 40, Jeremiah. I'm gonna be honest with you. Kelsey wants to look at Siakam assists. Okay. Interesting look from Siakam assists. Isn't something I've spent a lot of time looking at, but I'll go back to it real quick and see what's up with that. If you guys do put some bets in and you have some thoughts about why you like this bet, I'm here for a brief explanation. I'm not saying anybody needs to, but just if you bring them in, I'll look at them. But if you have like a reason that you're bringing it in, we can take a look at it as well. Yeah, we're in a bad spot right now mentally. We're going to need some MSG magic today for these Knicks fans to get back to feeling good about us playing the Celtics next round. So we want to keep an eye on that. Yeah, Edwards over everything. Edgar, if you're talking about Ant, then just yes, whatever it is, I'll take an over for Ant. He continues to be it. I mean, I'm kind of leaning on an under I already bet an under for Cat, which has been received with mixed reviews. Let me look at a couple of these bets real quick before we do get into exactly what you guys are talking about. Ant, I'm just all the overs. I think he's still a good bet to lead this game in scoring. His biggest threat is going to be Joker. I put this out in video last night, all this stuff. Leading scorer, 35 plus points, 29.5. Let me get 30 from him. Let me get 35. If you're talking about somebody getting 40 tonight, this would be the player that I would be betting on to get 40 before most others, including Jalen Brunson, the beloved. But Cat, I went under, and this is a game where you could look at it one of two ways with Cat. You think he went 5 for 18 from the field last game. We like to go against what happened last game, especially in the playoffs. I talk about that a lot. So this is something to consider as a good zag after a zig, if you want to look at it that way. But for me, I'm like, yo, Cat, if I'm coaching him, or I'm Ant or anybody, Slow Mo, any of these leaders on the team, I'm going, can I talk to you for a second, Carl? Do you have a second, Carl Anthony? I need you to understand that less is more, and that the only person on this team where more is more in the scoring department and the shooting department is going to be one Anthony Edwards. If your on your jersey doesn't say Edwards on the back of it, Carl, you need to go ahead and take a few plays off, my guy. And maybe don't foul 70 feet from the basket when nobody's shooting from there. One of my least favorite players, but I'm going to under because I just still don't believe in it. This is a pivotal game. I don't believe in Cat in big games. You could say this isn't the biggest game. Maybe game 6 will be a little bit bigger because obviously one team will be do or die, but I'm just off all the Cat bets. I'm just off of it. This is a quick slide that I showed yesterday as well. This is Brunson and his primary defenders. And this is only from 3 games out of the 4. We couldn't get game 2 tracking data for whatever reason. I'll write a letter to the league, but we couldn't get that tracking data to see these matchups. But I mean, yeah, points per game in 7 minutes for Nesmith, a lot better than if you look at Nembhard guarding him 5 minutes a game. Like, Nembhard's gone from this Brunson matchup. So now we're talking about Nesmith being the main defender. We're talking about McConnell taking over when he's on the floor, and there is no Aaron Nesmith, but Nesmith's live for a lot of points tonight, or a lot of minutes tonight. So I took him in his over because he's just going to keep being that defender for Brunson. There's no going back. We've all been waiting for him to be the primary defender. He finally is. So now he's going to be out there. He had a really good game 4, like every Pacer did, and then just didn't need to play more than 24 minutes because he's out there to mirror Jalen Brunson's minutes. So he's going to keep doing that. He'll probably get at least 8 field goal attempts again. He went 0 for 4 from 3, hit one of those threes, and he's over in the points last game. He had hella boards last game. That's why I brought up the rebound chances too, because those have gone up in every game of this series, 8, 9, 10, 12 in 24 minutes. He's not going to get 12 in 24 minutes when the Knicks, if they make any of their shots this game, as opposed to what they did last game, right? Just going over all over the place. So there'll be less rebounds available for him, but there's still going to be enough for him to get 15 PR in my projections there. And then I went with Alec Burks instead of Deuce McBride, but I think you can go with either of these dudes. The problem is I think you can only go with one. And the more I look at it, the more I'm like, I like McBride because I think he's guaranteed minutes as like the primary ball handler. Maybe you look at PRA for Miles instead of just the points. But for Burks, like, he's out there to score, bro. He was not out there because he couldn't play defense and they didn't need his scoring at first necessarily. They had OG Anunoby as another dude that could create his own shot. But this dude's basically doing the OG Anunoby scoring role at this point. Not everything else, obviously, because he sucks at defense. He's not going to guard Pascal, but he is going to keep taking these shots either from the corner or from driving in on the baseline against a terrible, terrible Indiana defense down low. So he is a perfect type of player to take advantage of this Indiana defense. You have to get out on his shot, and if you do, he's big and good enough to get all the way to the rim. That's why we've liked Dante more than we've liked Deuce McBride once again in this series. You know, that's how we've been betting that. But one more here. I forgot this one from the Denver game. This is MPJ, and I got a full unit on that at this point. I should update that in the bottom line. I put another half a unit on it to get it to one full one. So I'm taking MPJ for the full unit on over 2.5 threes. I think he's a good bet tonight. I know he went 0 for 2 last game. They can't allow the middle of the floor to be as open as it was in this last game. Like, Minnesota has to do a better job of having more dudes guard Jamal and Jokic when they're in the pick and roll together. They crushed them last game. They just ate them alive. So that's why Michael Porter Jr. only got 2 shots off. In addition to not needing quite as many minutes last game, he also they were in his jersey at not letting him shoot, which led to all that space in the middle of the floor for Jokic and Murray. So you understand the logic there, hopefully. But those are the 5. They're rolling on the bottom line right now. This is what we got coming up. So let me keep it moving here with what you guys are looking at. What's good, Yehoshua? Good to see you, brother. You like Mitchell. I don't know what you mean by that, bro, but let me Mitch. Oh, you're talking about something else. My bad. I got you. I see what else you're talking about. We should look at DDV though. I'll put him in there. White Dante. Can't not look at him, right? Put Ant right down here next to Jamal. We'll get White Dante in here. I think everybody knows who I mean when I say White Dante. There's only one White Dante. That's why it's his name. Let's see real quick. Yeah, appreciate you shouting that out, Richard. If you want to look at that, hit that like button. That's super appreciated. TJ McConnell coming in from Flo Farrow. Let's look at TJ either way. The rebounds is interesting that you would bring that up as the bet for TJ. I know he's been on the floor enough to just kind of run into those boards. So 2.5 is always going to be good look for somebody that is on the floor that much. Let me put TJMCC in here real quick as well. I mean, we're going to end up looking at pretty much everybody, right? So let's get into it so I can get some stuff in there, and I'll make sure I get Josh Hart on the list as well. And interesting, I kind of want to start with Obi, and that's why I have up first. So we will start with that. But I'm adding who did I already forget? Yeah, Jay Hart. Jay Hart, who was a little disappointing last game, obviously, and they're going to keep letting him shoot. He's kind of the dude they've decided that he's allowed to get shots up and nobody else is. So that could be a problem. But let me start looking at this stuff, and I'll share my screen right now so we can get into it. And I'll be using props.cash. If you do need a subscription to that still, you can get it with the code that I've got, LYB24. What's good? We got Rich in the if you can watch it on YouTube, it's a little bit easier. You can get all your comments in real easy, and then I'll make sure I see them. I might not see everything on Instagram, Twitter as well. You can usually get it in. All right, let me pull up props.cash, and we'll start looking at this stuff. Like I said, if you do want to use everything I'm going to be using too, by the way, links are in the description of the video. I want to make sure I tell you that. Let me start presenting this right quick. All right, we're going to look at P.C. I'm going to bring it to the stage. Get rid of my MPJ. We're starting with Indy and this Knicks squad. All right, let's kick it off. And I'm going to refresh just to make sure everything pulls through entirely. We're going to kick it off with Obi because, interestingly, Free Sauce brought up an under on his rebounds earlier. It might have even been last night. But I know people are going to want to look at his points. And I know people are going to want to go over on Obi. And I understand that. And I think I'm done fading him. I tried last game. I thought it was too high. And that blowout did not help, obviously, but he was a big reason that the blowout even happened. So pulling up Obi now. All right, we'll get into this game right here. Let me actually just pull this up. So for Obi, I mean, look at these points, bro. So the rebounds is what I want to start with because I thought that was a good look on the under there. I know he's gone under in 3 in a row. In the first game of this series, he had 6 boards. And how many rebound chances did he have in that first game? 6.9 rebound, or this is on the series, my bad. 6 rebounds to pull down 6 boards. So that ain't going to happen every game, that's for sure. Then the last 2, he's been at 5 at the most and 3 boards at the most. I think this is a really, really good look, to be honest. This is sharp right here because it's not just the fact that he's gone under. It's the fact that the rebound chances were already not that high. So for him to have 5 or 6 rebound chances to get 4 boards, yeah, I mean, I don't like those odds for anybody. Even last game, how many minutes did he play last game? Just to make sure it wasn't like a dud. I mean, he played 18 and a half. I think you still put him at 20. 19 to 20 is what he's been at. In this series, he hasn't gotten over 20. So I think that's still a good ceiling for him with the amount that they play him. I should have already had this up because I knew when I was looking at it earlier that this was a good look when Free Sauce brought it up. So good look right there. This is why you join the Discord, so you can make sure that you get this stuff early. It's still a good look right now for us with the odds the way they are. Let me make sure these odds are pulling through 100%. I'm going to pull up my prop finder tool and put in Obi's boards right quick and see what the best number is. Make sure you're shopping those lines. I haven't said that enough. I don't know if this is talked about enough, but like shop those lines, have as many books as you can. Do not just have one book and take what those odds are. You need to make sure that you're comparing. It's the best part of all of it. Like you don't go buy something at Walmart or wherever else that you know is gonna be way more expensive if you can just go to Walmart, right? So keep going to Walmart, which is the cheapest prices. We got the boards right here. So 3.5 for the unders, -110 on DK. Love it. Absolutely. I think that's a good for a full unit. I mean, the Knicks might miss a few more shots. I have no faith in them right now. But I'm going to add Obi because even if he's out there for the 20 minutes, I don't think that's enough for him to get what he needs. So putting Obi under on the boards. Great look by Free Sauce. Once again, got Obi under 3.5 rebounds for -110 DK. That's feels incorrect. I'm not sure if DK is looking at rebound chances, and I'm not sure if they think there's going to be that many more misses for the Knicks this game, but that feels mispriced, right? All right, let me make sure I'm still good to go over here. There we go. Fuck me. All right, stand by. All right. So for Obi, we got that bet in. Everything's good there. Let's see what else we're looking at. So we got that on there. I got TJ coming up right now. So let me get TJ up in here. All right, TJMC. So the look from Flo Farah was the rebounds for TJ. So we can pull those up to start and kind of go from there. But that's an interesting thought to me right away. That is intriguing because that's not where I would think everybody would want to start with TJ McConnell. I think, usually think points and assists at this point for him. But let's start with the rebounds and see what we see real quick. So 3 in a row that he's gone over, 3, 4, and 4 with rebounds. And I still need to make this video, but the key thing for rebounds, the two main things I'm usually looking at are who is he matched up with, and what are his rebound chances? Obviously, those are two really good starting places. So for the rebound chances for TJ in the last 3 games that he's been going over, he's at 5, 4, and 7. So this is still like a really high amount of rebounds for the amount of rebound chances that he's getting. So when you look at rebound chances as a whole, I'm going to go to NBA stats page real quick. This is going to be where I can go to players and go to tracking. So this is all tracking data because they're able to see how many times this dude went up for a rebound, had the ability to actually get one. If we look at the playoffs, I'll just use the playoffs. It's fine. And I'm on rebounding. Let's just look at this real quick for rebound chances. So the best rebounders are going to be up and around the 60 to 70, 67, around that percentage in terms of their rebound chances. So you see the top rebound chance. Well, let's do it this way. So Jay Allen, 61%, Jokic, 62. Embiid was at 50. He was a little bit hobbled too, so I give him a little bit of a pass there. On the regular season, he was a lot better than this. AD, 75, 62 from Hart. Rudy at 59. So even that's a little bit low for Rudy, but you get my point here. That's absurdly high for him to have basically 75 to 80% of his rebounds chances turning into rebounds for Mr. Obi, right? So or not Obi, I'm sorry, for TJ. So for TJ, that's why we like the under for Obi, is you can't keep getting 180 to 100% of your rebounds on your rebound chances. So he had 7 in this last game, but once again, the rebound chances for the Knicks are going to be way inflated, or for the Pacers players are going to be way inflated from this last game versus the Knicks, because the Knicks sucked. They were complete cheeks. They couldn't make a shot. I'm going to go to the box score from that game real quick to pull it up and see exactly what they were shooting in that one. But even let's just do the first half, because the first half is when everybody was actually playing in that game, which was not even a game. So glad I was doing other shit for that one. In the first half, they shot 36% from the field, 15% from deep, 2 of 13 from 3, right? Plus they missed 4 free throws. So there's all those rebound chances just in the first half, right? You look at quarter 3 then as well. They get any better? Nope. They got worse. They shot 13 threes in the third quarter and made 1 of them. So they shot 30% from the field. They missed their 3 of those free throws. Once again, they were beyond terrible, right? And so that's what all those rebound chances led to. If you go to player tracking inside the box score, you can actually see rebound chances in this way as well for this particular game. If I go down to this Pacers squad, look at all these people with double-digit rebound chances. 13 for Isaiah Jackson, 10 for Ben Shepherd, for Christ's sake, 15 for Miles, and 15 for Nesmith, right? Then you got 8 and 7 for that's just so many. It's in the amount of time, 15 rebound chances in 24 minutes for Nesmith. Who's Ben Shepherd, 10 rebound chances in 18 minutes, bro. That's just building a house with bricks, right? So that's why those rebound chances were so high. So be careful with that. For even for somebody like TJ, who gets those sneaky rebounds on basically just on the bottom floor, right? The ocean floors where he gets his boards. He's not going up high to the top of the trees. But yeah, Obi is already an under on the rebounds, Landon. So that's floating on the bottom line if you need that. Let me for TJ, let me keep looking at points. I'm staying away from the rebounds. To me, it's just a bit of a crapshoot for him. In game 1 right here, let's use that as an example. He had 1 rebound and 1 rebound chance. So either way, I mean, the Knicks were shooting real well that game. There's going to be rebound chances, but they're not enough that you can just go, okay, well, if he's going to get 7, sure, I'll take 3 rebounds on 7 rebound chances, but that's only 1 game. So that's not enough for me. If he's at 4 or 5 and he needs 3 rebounds, for someone like TJ, okay, not terrible, because he'll probably get these deferred rebound chances where somebody just doesn't go get it and then he gets to pick it up. But I'm off that. The points for TJ, 10.5. How many shots did he take when he got 15 points last game? Because it's all about the volume. And for me, I stayed away from TJ's points in this game because my thinking was he's taking 10 shots a game. He hits those at about 50%, right? So in this series, if you look at a 16 in the first one, that's an outlier, and then 9, 10, and 12. And I still put him at about 10 shots in this last game. He took 2 more, but his field goal percentage, yeah, he was at 20%. He made 2 threes in this game. That is not something you want to bank on either. So I still feel good about staying away from McConnell, even though he hit, because it was the right play. I mean, he hit 2 threes. If he doesn't make those 2 threes on his 12 shots, so that means he was, how many did he make? Come on. 6 of 12. 2 of 2, right? So that's 4 for 10 from the field. You see what I'm saying? So if he's 4 for 10 from the field, which is what you're thinking about, is going to be his numbers. If he's taken 10 shots, which is his average, right? And we want to use a larger sample size than last game or the last 3 games. Like we want the biggest sample size we can get in the last 10 games. And this is the last 10. Let me pull up playoffs real quick. In the playoffs, well, that is the last 10 for them. Because they played 10 games. My bad. He's at 10.2, right? What was he on the season, real quick? Taking playoffs off. On the season, he averaged 8.6 field goal attempts. He's gone up in the playoffs, but we'll still give him the 10 because it's playoff TJ now, not just regular season. But you can see how often he's gone under this number. And the reason he's gone under this number is because when he does go over, he needs to do something that's out of the ordinary. So that's what this is, bro. This is betting. The betting here is not just like, well, what do I think could happen? It's just what happens the most. And then once I have that number made, is that a good price for it? And the answer is hell no, because now you're eating all this juice. So like I said, do the math. If he takes 10 shots and doesn't make his 2 threes that he took right here, which he does not do very often, even if you give him 1 3, he's still got to go, let me make sure I mess this up. Yeah, he's got to go 4 for 10 at that point, which is doable. But I don't like banking on him making threes. This is attempts. Yeah, he didn't make these. All right. He made 1 over here. Yeah, he made none. Right? That's the attempts versus the makes. All right. Either way. So yeah, over 3. You get my point. My point here is I don't like the numbers based on how many shots he takes and the point and the what am I trying to say? The volume of his minutes with all that. So if you add the assists, his assists have been going crazy lately. That's the only other thing I want to look at. Obviously, it's not consistent, and so that's hard to predict. Almost kind of like Peyton Pritchard. When are you going to pass and when are you going to shoot? If I look at potential assists for him, he was at 15. Why is this spiking so much, bro? Like the matchups are pretty much the same. It's either Hart or Brunson. So I don't understand that. I just don't feel comfortable with it. I guess if I'm going to take a bet on TJ, I would either go with the assists or the points and assists. I don't think I feel comfortable with just the points, but that's my TJ stuff. Honestly, like he's a tough bet. I like to go back to him when it was at 8.5, 9.5 points. Once you get up to 10.5, now I'm out. So one thing I'll show you real quick. This applies to everybody. If you go to Betting Pros, and this link is in the description of the video as well. If you look at TJ McConnell, and I'll type him in here, you can see his price as of late, right? And what does it cost to bet on him all like recently? So prop line 10, 11, 10. Once you jumped up over 8.5, like I was willing to take over 7 to 8.5 all the way up here. And he went under so frequently over here against the Bucks that it makes sense that his prop went down and stayed at 7.5, 8.5 for a while. Even when he was getting 20 and 18, right? They stayed at 8.5. But then once he got to 18, it went up to 10. 10.5 right here. So once it gets up to 10.5, 11.5, that's too steep of a price for me to pay for TJ McConnell. So yesterday's price is not today's price. So I'm going to pass on TJ, but if I would recommend that if you do go over on him, you take the points and assists or the assists alone. I kind of like both those. So that's where I'm at with that. Let's keep it moving through a couple more here from this game. I'm going to take TJ off. Let's look at Precious real quick and see where we're at with Big Dog. All right, Precious Achiuwa. Now, the problem with the Precious bets too and using last game's numbers is last game was, right, he got, let me just go back into the game box score real quick. I take this down. So last game, Precious, how many rebound chances did he have? He had 13 in 24 minutes. That's a lot. I don't think that's actually out of the norm for him because that's what he's been doing. Let me go down real quick. If I'm on rebounds for Precious, yeah, look at this in the last 3 games, 10, 11, 13. His minutes in the last 3 games, 28, 22, 24. That 28 minutes, wow. 22, 24 in the blowout. Let's see how much he was playing in the first half of this game. First half of this one, Precious played. Yeah, he started. That's right. He started and played 15 minutes. I believe he's going to start again. This is where I like to go to RotoWire. There's sites, I'll be honest with you, that are better. I hope no one from RotoWire is listening. If you want to give me a partnership, we're still down. But there's sites that are better for NBA projections and lineups than this one. But I do think Precious continues to start. There's no reason to think that'll be different. They need somebody to guard Pascal. And he played 25. Burks and McBride are still at their averages that you would expect from them. So this all adds up, to be honest, with the way that they have these minutes laid out. Precious playing 25 minutes Yeah, you could probably bank on that. I mean, that means he played 10 minutes in the second half of this last game, right? Because he played 15 in the first. So yeah, he wasn't necessarily like one of the beneficiaries of garbage time. He played 8 minutes in the second half, right? And you got Jericho Sims minutes and Shake and Daquan Jeffries and Mamadi. Whew. Knicks fans, God bless us right now, man. We need all the support we can get. Hey, hug a Knicks fan. Hug your Knicks friends if you have them right now. They need a hug. I know I could use one. So for Precious, I think we can still bank on the 25 minutes. That's the bottom line of what I'm trying to say is I think the projection for Precious of 25 is solid. So if we like him at 25 minutes right here, I mean, he's at about in these three. This is, what is this, 22? This is 50, 74 minutes, which is 25 a game. So we can bank on 25, I think, as a good number for him. The rebound chances, he had 6 on 13. And the points, he had 8 buckets on 7 field goal attempts. That seems kind of high for Precious. Even in the 21-minute game, well, that was a close game, actually. So I don't know if 25 is that accurate for Precious Achiuwa. I'm getting a little bit nervous. I mean, if I took anything for that included rebounds, I would do the points and rebounds. I think 13 rebound chances is not enough for him to, is not it's right on the line for him to get the 7. I don't think that's necessarily the play. Let's see what he did during the regular season real quick with this squad. So in the last 30 where he was actually with the Knicks, his minutes dropped once Mitch Rob came back, right? He was playing minutes over here with them. So let's put him at 20 to 24 and see what that looks like for his minutes in the last 30 with this squad. So when he played 20 to 24 minutes with the Knicks, in the last, why can't I do the last 30? Yeah, okay. So he didn't even play that many in the last 30. This is going to be, let's do it with Jalen Brunson so we can get these Knicks games. Where's JB? So I'm trying to see if there's anything for minutes with Precious that would make us go like, all right, if he gets this amount of minutes, maybe he's a good look for this. 7 boards is what he needs. No edge there. And the points is also at 7, which is what he needs. I don't think there's much for Precious. They got these lines a bit more competitive at this point. He took 7 shots to get 8 points last game. So he went 4 for 7, which is realistic. I think 4 for 7 is a good prediction for him. I think I like the points better or the PR. That's the way that I lean for Precious at this point. The 13.8 PR in this season with Jalen Brunson playing, right? This is all, but without Mitch Rob too. That's helpful. So let's do without Mitch Rob real quick. No Mitchell Robinson. So in these games without Mitchell Robinson getting 20 to 24 minutes, he goes over 24 of 40 times with the points and rebounds combined, which I think is the play. If you get him, I still don't think there's an edge here, but if this is the play, if you're going to do it, so I'm going to put Precious under the leans right here. So those are going to be leans for myself. Precious over PR, and that's the only thing I would play is not either of those individually because I don't know which one he's going to do more, to be honest. And he's going to basically have the same amount of rebound chances to get 50% of his rebounds. He's got to get about 60% of them. Not something I want to have to bank on with Precious Achiuwa. Even he's looked good for this team when he's been needed right now, but that ain't where it's at for me. Let's move along to, and I'll come back to the comments, make sure I'm not missing anything. Precious, and now we got not Jay Hart, excuse me, I Hart. So we'll look at Hartenstein real quick, and our boy's been going down, fam. One more thing, because Benjamin Miller just brought up the Pacers second quarter money line. Like the second quarter, fine. I think the first half for the Pacers, like if the Knicks win this game, it'll have to be close, but they're probably gonna win it in the fourth. And if you do like the Knicks to win, this was a good shout from Sean. What's his name? Let me find Sean real quick. He's a Knicks fan, and he's a really good follow, honestly. Damn, I forgot his name already. Not sure if I'll be able to find it. I'll get it later, but this dude made a really good point. I don't want to just like maybe it's Sean Little. Y'all know who I'm talking about? He's a Knicks fan, and he's like a betting. Yeah, Sean Little. So Sean Little is a betting personality. I think he's a really solid follow if you are looking for somebody like that. But he was mentioning earlier that if you're going to bet the Knicks tonight, let me see if I can find his tweet. If you're going to bet the Knicks tonight, this is what he said. Rather than playing Knicks money line minus 115, play both the winning margin bands. And I think that's a good call. Like, I don't think the Knicks are blowing the Pacers out tonight. I don't think they got enough, basically the amount of stamina. I don't think they have the energy right now, the spark to just be that fast for the whole game. Even if the Knicks build a first half lead, I don't see them keeping it very, very long in like the third quarter when things start to get a little bit tight and they're a little bit more tired. But the Knicks, you can get this band right here, so it's like 1-5 or 6-10. They're both worth hella plus money, right? So it's 4-1 or 5-1 for them to win by either of these margins. So they can win by anywhere from 1 to 10 points, and you're going to cash. So if you spend $100 on 1-5, right, and you spend $100 on 6-10. So if the 6-10 hits, you just made 500 and lost 100, right? So you basically just made 400, and right here you made $310, right? If the 1-5 hits, you lose the 100 for betting on this, but you still get 310. So that's a really good way to play this, because I don't see them winning this game by double digits or many double digits if that happens. So keep that in mind if you bet the Knicks money line. But otherwise, like the Pacers, that doesn't work for them. That thought process, they could easily blow this team out tonight. I'm not gonna lie to you. All right, let's keep it moving with Hartenstein. That's what's up next. If you're just jumping in right now, everything that we already bet and that I've already got on the card is on the bottom line, scrolling along. So we're just looking at all the bets that people have in the comments. So make sure you jump in there if you have something that you want to look at. All right, looking at Hartenstein. Man, do they need him to play so freaking good. Here's my biggest problem, and I'll bring this up one more time because this is the effect, and I should have made a flow chart. That would have been the play. But if you look at the effect of Nesmith being the main defender on Brunson, that coincides with Hartenstein not being able to get quite as many assists, because now they don't need to double down on Brunson. They can leave their other defenders on shooters out on the wing. They don't have to give up spot ups. Hartenstein's not going to have spot up looks for his passes. Like, everything gets turned upside down. Like, I'm not just worried because I'm like, oh my God, maybe Brunson can't score. I'm worried as a Knicks fan because now the math changes, right? The geometry changes and everything is different, and everything favors the Pacers when it's this way right now, especially the fact that they can just play so fast and they know that they have advantages all over the freaking floor, bro. It's not a good look right now. All right, let's go back to Hartenstein. So for Hartenstein, if we look at the playoffs right now and we look at these last few games for him, this is PR. Start with points. Rebounds was the look. So he's only gotten 10 boards once these playoffs. That was the look that was brought my way too, which makes a ton of sense. One time he got 10 boards. What's his rebound chances been at? Let's take a look. Let me see how this looks. Is that big enough for you? Oh, yeah, you can see this. All right, good. So 13 a game in the playoffs. That's not enough to get you 10, fam. 14 and not very many minutes last game, right? How many minutes did he play last game? Going up to that. He played 22, right? None of these Knicks starters played minutes last game. So 14 rebounds and 22 minutes ain't bad. Let's always remember when there's a blowout, you got to look at why somebody went under. And it was clearly because he wasn't in there, but he only got 5 boards on the 14 rebounds. And say what you want, I called Miles Turner 7'2". He might not be 7'2", but he's bigger than my fucking Isaiah Hartenstein. I'll tell you that right now. Come at me, street cred. All right, he got 12 when he had 21. This was game 3. That was not a bad shooting game for the Pacers. They won that game. Let me look at that game real quick and see what might have been different about it. So I'm going back to the game log for game 3 here that the Knicks lost by 5. Maybe they didn't shoot well. Maybe both teams didn't shoot well. Is that what I'm remembering? No, the Knicks shot 52% from 3. The Pacers shot worse than the Knicks. They just got more possessions. They took 89 shots. The Knicks took 80. Right? They play slower. Did they have hella turnovers? They had 13. That's blocks. They had 18 turnovers. Bruh. So that's why I didn't get any freaking shots off, because they had 18 turnovers. This team, they turned the ball over 20 times. Oh, no, that's personal fouls. I'm tripping, dude. 10 for the Pacers. Yeah, 13 is still a lot. 13 is still too many for them because they play so slow. So that's a reason they only took 80 shots, because they didn't even get the shots off because they turned the freaking ball over. Why are his rebound chances? Why are his rebounds so low? So 16 rebounds. I mean, look, Jason Tatum is getting 16 rebound chances and pulling down 10 boards a game when he does. So why is Isaiah Hartenstein is it so hard for him to get boards? I think he's a good play for the under. I think that's a really good look. How many minutes do we think he's going to get tonight? It looked like on the projections, his minutes were projected at 35, which adds up. That's about what he's been playing in this series. He's played 36, 39, 38, and 22. So yeah, you could predict him for a little bit more if you wanted and put him at like 38. And that gets scary with taking the under on the rebounds. I think the assists are going to be hard for him to come by these days. It's down to 3.5. It was you can get a 4.5 though. So what about the RA? 13.5 rebounds and assists combined. What do we think of that? I think that's just as good. I think it's pretty much the same look as the rebound, but I don't think he's as liable to dime up. He had 0 assists last game. The potential assists were at 2 last game, 6 in the first game of the series, but then he had 13 and 7. But this was when Nesmith was not yet really guarding JB. So, and Brunson's minutes take away actually some of the assists from Hartenstein. He got a lot of assists without that. So I think the RA is the underplay for our boy, to be honest. I don't love the points for him anymore either. So if the PRA is what you vibe with too, you can. I mean, he's always liable to make that push shot. How many shots he been taking? Yeah, they just dwindled. It's 9, 7, 4, 3. Now the 3 is an outlier. The 4 makes sense. The 7 still not enough for me to like his points at 9.5. Well, let's see. He's 9.5. If he made 4 of those 7, yeah, he can make 5 of 7. That's no problem. But 4 and 3, yeah. So I think either the PRA or the RA is the best under for Hartenstein. Like I was saying, the math changes with Nesmith on Brunson. You don't have to double as much, and guys can stick with their guys. So there's no spot up shooters. I think that's the play for Hartenstein as the fade. I can't believe he's only gotten 10 boards once in this playoffs, bro. That's a good look. I appreciate you bringing that to my attention. But Johnny Rick coming in. 12 rebounds from Hartenstein, got his house on that in the Pacers money line. He's joking. He doesn't have his house on it. Right, Johnny? Yeah, Johnny. But Johnny says he knows, and they're back at the Garden. Oh, here we go. Ever since Ja Rule was holding the championship. Did Ja Rule touch that trophy? Mother fucking put his garbage hands all over that trophy. That crook, bro. Ja Rule is a crook. Y'all seen Fire Island? Terrible. Nah, I still think the under on the RA. That's gonna be my lean right now for Hartenstein. I'll come back to it if I start to feel froggy. I'm gonna leap on it, but we'll go I'm putting iHeart. I'm just trying to spell Hartenstein. iHeart. Unfortunately, that does look like J Hart. So let me just put Hartenstein in here. Hartenstein under 13.5 RA. Yeah, and is that the best price too? Is there something better than that? Yeah, you can get 14 on Caesars. That's a look right there. Under 14.5 RA for Hartenstein. That might be a bet now. Under 14.5 RA. Yeah, I mean, why wouldn't that be? Let me just look at one more thing with him. So let's do on the season. Let's take out Mitch Rob and Julius and OG. And, just the three most important front court players for the fucking Knicks. But whatever. We probably don't need them to win games in the playoffs. This is fucking ridiculous. 11.5 is his average in 25 minutes a game. So you really got to dump that up, though. What about when he gets 30 as his minimum? Still 2 for 2, right? 2 for 4, rather, in terms of the RA going over. That stuff do be going up, though, doesn't it, in this situation this season? Let me take off the minutes again. So without the minutes, he was at 25. Yeah, I think he's probably good for 36. So this does feel a little bit scary just based on the math. If you take out all these dudes and the fact that he's done this a lot, I'll leave it as a lean for now. The 14.5 makes me feel really good about it. But what's up, Daft? Good to have you, COVID King. Let's see, watching from the whip while he drives, but he's got one of those self-steering cars, y'all. So definitely don't text and drive. You know that. Let's see. Yeah, Nesmith rebounds I like, Justin. Nesmith's on the bottom line for the PR. So hopefully you see that down there. It's actually going right now. It says Nesmith over 14.5 PR. That is a bet that I already put in and have on there. So I really like that. Keep getting it. Yeah, get in here if you need to, bro. I'll just send you the link in case you can jump in for a minute. I do have a decently hard stop at some time real soon. Not real soon, but a little after 3:30. So let me make sure I get to the other game too. But yeah, get in here when you can, Daft. Let me go ahead and send that to our boy real quick. Somebody was besmirching Daft's name the other day, by the way. I put a stop to that real quick. Don't worry about that, Daft. All right, send that link your way. Keep it moving. So Hartenstein I got as a lean right now. I can't. It's scary to look at. I mean, this series has not been his series for the most part. You saw that. He had that one good game, but everything else, yeah. So for Brunson, we can get into that real quick. Let me see real quick. Yeah. Good look on the 14.5 for Hartenstein. That's my favorite play. Daft, Will wants to know what your best bet is today. So if you can drop that for us, we'd love to know. All right. And I do want to look at Tyrese too. So let me get into JB. So I already took the under on the points for Jalen. I think it's at 33. Yeah. So I got a bad number. You can get 33.5. Obviously that's better. I took it for under 32.5 and I drank a lot of juice. So people are liking an over with Brunson back in the Garden. And look, I have no problem with that. If anything, you can look at this as hedging your feelings. That's what we call it. You hedge your emotions. My emotions are, I would like the Knicks to win basketball games. My hedge of that is, I'm going to go under on Jalen Brunson to make sure that I feel some happiness. If they lose because he went under, like if they lose and he goes over, then, you can find me on the edge of a bridge probably, but just kidding. Don't gamble what you don't have or can't afford to lose. That's also a big rule. Jalen Brunson under on the points. You know where I'm at on the rebounds. I think that continues. I don't know why you would like the rebounds. What's his chances been at? Now earlier in the series, he just had these rebounds just fall in his hands. I know because I bet under 5.5 for him in game 2, I believe is what it was. So I got that right. But it was a little bit scary because he gets these fucking balls. I mean, he's on the floor for 44 minutes, so something's just going to fall into his lap. But the rebound chances are low. So he had 9 in the only game he went over this number. And he's had 5. He had 1, and then he had 4. Right. Even in a game where he had 4 to get 3. And that's the thing about guards rebounds. Like even for TJ McConnell, I know I didn't take it, but like if you did, you can't just look at the rebound chances sometimes, because you have to consider, if you go to the rebound stats, you can see deferred rebound chances, right? So guys like that are always this big, they're going to have deferred rebound chances pretty often, more often than the guards, because that's who they would defer to. The whole point is they're boxing out. So when they box out, then they don't necessarily have the ability to go chase the rebound because they got to keep their body between their man and the basket, right? But if you're a small dude, you're never in a position where you're like, here, let me box this dude out for you, Mitchell Robinson, so that you can go get the rebound. It's always Mitch Rob boxing out, someone like Jalen Brunson running in and getting the chances. That's why, like, Josh Hart probably has, what's he at? I can't even believe he's at 1.5 deferred. That man I haven't seen him defer a rebound chance since like the Reagan administration, honestly. Like, dude is padding his rebound stats every game. So that's why, he's a little bit more likely. TJ doesn't need as high of a rebound chance percentage to get his boards. If you look at the dudes with the highest ones, even in the playoffs, I know these are like low, but like here, let's actually just make the rebounds that you have to get greater than or equal to 4, right? So you look at the rebound chance percentage. Yeah, these dudes are big, but then you're going to get Halliburton, CJ McCollum, Tatum, Alec Burks. Some of these dudes are bigger dudes, but then a lot of them are the shorter guys as well that are going to come in here and have a really high rebound chance percentage. But really impressive stuff from Kawhi in his 2 games in the NBA playoffs. Really good. Let's give it up for Kawhi Leonard and his ability to play basketball. All right, keep it moving. Brunson on the rebounds, I think that's a good fade if you like that. I mean, if you want to add PR in there, that's a nice fade of under 37.5 points in rebounds. I think you can add that as well. Oh boy, Benjamin, you're breaking my balls here, brother. Do I like Josh Hart to lead the game at boards? I would think I would rather play with 12.5. I took him to lead in boards the last game because he was at 13.5. We know how that went, but the Knicks missed all their shots. So that's a big reason for that. But what's good, Jay Nat? Good to have you in here, bro. Let's see. Jalen Brunson under 8.5 first quarter points. That's a good look. I already got him on the under points for the game. So I don't think that's a bad look at all. If he goes under in the first quarter, that'd be very helpful because he's the only dude shooting in the fourth quarter for this team. So that makes sense. But let's see. As far as the assists go, this is one more thing we can look at for JB. Interesting stuff because he still hasn't gotten there in this series, right? I was fading him happily at under 8.5, under 7.5. Once we got to 6.5, this is my line for him because, I mean, one, he's averaging 7.6 in the playoffs. The potential assists, they were down in these 2 games, but he still had 13 and 15 in 2 of these 4. And the 8 came in the 22 minutes he played. How many minutes did he get in this last game? 30 minutes he played. But you got to give him 10 more, like 8 to 10 more minutes at this point, which means his potential assists are only going to go up from 8 to probably 10 to 12. Probably if he plays 38 minutes, he should be at 12 to 15 once again. Interesting because Neesmith's on him, right? So that's a big part of this is like he's going to have to pass a little bit more, is my opinion. So I still think under is the play for the assist for JB. I think what I'm saying is we should just take the under PRA. Isn't that what I'm saying? Like I just took the points, but I do like the under for the other 2 stat categories as well. And I don't think those are going to help him get to 44.5. He's going to need to, honestly, it might even be a better play because it keeps safeguards you against him going off from the points, but not doing anything else, which would make sense. I think that's another good look. Damn. kind of wish I would have just done that from the jump. I just saw that the points. It was like, bro, you can't be expecting him to score like this. I think this is my preferred play as you guys asked me to go through the other stuff. Let me see what the best number is. I'll put that up. I can put another half unit on it. Brunson. In fact, I can put a full fucking unit on it if I feel like it. It's my money, bitch. Points, rebounds, and assists. Where's 40 under 44.5 minus 117? That's Bet Rivers. I don't bet with them. So I would get minus 120 on 365, which I do use. I mean, it's not that you shouldn't bet with Bet Rivers, but they limited me, and I don't feel like dealing with their bullshit anymore. Johnny, get out of here, bro. You're just being countered now. It's contrarian over here. Yeah, I would agree. Like, I mean, well, shit, if you think that, then you might as well take under the RA, bro, because if you think he would need 40 to get his 44.5 PRA, then like just take the under RA. What's that at? 10.5. So you're saying there's no way he's getting 5 rebounds and assists. If you like it that much, you should be slamming that under 10.5, which you can get plus 105 for. I like that too. If you want to combine those two and go under, I think that's a pretty decent look. Let's see what's he been doing with those lately. Just the rebounds and assists in the playoffs. Yeah, he was over in the first game. That was when he got all those. What did he get? Assists. He got 6 boards in that game, 6 assists in that game. That's how we got over the RA in that one. But everything else, yeah, it's been like really low rebound chances. Yeah, I'm just gonna add it to the PRA. Honestly, I think that way I can even hit both bets and feel good about it. So minus 122, is that the best number? Let me go right back real quick. For the 44.5, yeah, I'll take the minus 120 on 365, and that's what I'll go for. So I'm adding that to the list here, despite what Johnny Rick wants to come in with. All right, we're taking Brunson. I'm sorry, bro. I'm just talking to Brunson now, and to my Knicks fandom and my optimism, my happiness. Under 44. This is so brutal. 44.5 PRA for minus 120 on 365. I'm going in with 0.5 units on that. All right, let's keep it moving. Let's look at Siakam. Added a couple things to the card already, so hopefully y'all are hip to it. Let me jump in those comments as well, and let me make sure I didn't miss anything. You know what? I gotta add some stuff. Let me do one thing real quick, Daft. I'm gonna add you to the stage. But we got the COVID King in the house, everybody. So we should feel good about that. Stand by, Daft. Watch me work real quick. In the meantime, actually, why don't you get on here and entertain everybody while I get this for you? What's good, bro?
What's up, kings and queens? Man, you got a fresh cut?
Yeah, you know, I had to get lined up real quick. I was looking a little daft, if you will.
I remember those days when I used to get lined up.
Yeah. Now what is it for you?
Now it's a zero all over. Do myself.
Oh yeah, you straight Bic, right?
That's right.
Yeah, you went on home early, huh?
What do you mean?
They call it coming on home. I had a buddy who
I did. I did that.
Go ahead.
On purpose.
Yeah. I have a buddy who works for Turner Sports, and like a couple of years ago, he was already like bald. He just needed to like accept it and move on. Shaq walks up to him. He goes, "What's your name, young man?" He goes, "Daniel." He's like, "Daniel, it's time to come on home, brother." Like, from one bald man to another, it's time to come on home.
Yeah. I was gonna do what LeBron does, and I was gonna hold on to it a bit longer, but he just keeps coming back. I don't know how. I think I did. I came home when COVID started. We're shutting down the country. Everyone works from home for the next 3 to 6 months. I was like, fuck it. I'm shaving this shit off.
Yeah, that's the way to go. Especially out there. All right, I'm about to bring you on stage real quick. Can you give everyone your best bet real quick? Because I already have people asking for it.
Oh, and I tell people this all the time. I do not have something called a best bet. I love them all equally. It's like choosing your favorite child. And you might have one.
You definitely have a favorite child, yeah.
A lot of the time, the best bet, the one that I feel most confident in, it doesn't always win. It doesn't mean there's a better chance of it hitting. I just get a little bit more aroused thinking of it.
That makes
so
sense.
If I thought about my best bets, I'd probably say, well, it's probably going to be Josh Hart rebounds at 12.5 or Dante over 22.5.
Okay.
And a lot of my thoughts in this Knicks games is centered around Jalen Brunson going unders. I also had the very same lean. I didn't like his points prop. I like the under on that. And firstly, on the Dante thought, I was like, there's only 3 players on this Knicks team that can call their own shot, and that's Jalen Brunson, Dante DiVincenzo, and Alec Burks.
Yep.
No one else wants to. They're not going to call their own shot. They've got to get points up at home. I was like, Dante just had a bad game. I'd like to see at least 20 shots for him, and he can cover 23 points. So the math makes sense, and it aligns to the script in my mind. And then similar with Josh Hart, there's no OG. He's probably going to play 50 out of 48 minutes. Like, he's going to be sprinting in warm-ups, you know what I'm saying? Just to get it some extra runs. And I expect those rebound chances well over 20 for Josh Hart.
Okay.
Yeah.
So last game, we just toss out the window, right?
Oh, yeah. I don't give a shit about that.
Yeah. Okay, good. Me neither. I'm with you.
It's a letdown spot.
Yeah. Huge. Yeah. And they just gave up. I never thought I'd see the day that Tibbs just decided he didn't care anymore about a game. That was crazy to me.
Yeah. Well, he could have run his starters for another 40 minutes and maybe only lost by 10 to 15. Yeah. But
what was the point?
Yeah. It's a battle of attrition.
Yep. So, I feel it. So you got, I'm going to put that up on the bottom line while you're talking real quick. So for Daft, we got, and I'm going to keep it as Daft, even though he's also, his mother called him Daniel, just so you guys know. Daft, you're on the Hart over 12.5.
Yes.
Rebs, and you got DDV.
Yep. Over 22.5.
Over 2.5 threes?
Yep. No, 22.5 points.
22.5 points. Got it.
Yeah.
That makes more
sense. And I got both of these at minus 104. So
hell yeah. Okay. Yeah. So I'm not sure what those are still floating around for. I swear I was listening, but with the Dante DiVincenzo stuff, what was the thought process there? Like a bounce back game?
Bounce back game. Jalen Brunson's going to go under. So I think someone's going to deliver, like someone's going to put up shots, and no one else can call their own shot. But Dante, Jalen Brunson, and Alec Burks off the bench. So I think that it's volume. It's a volume play, really. And I know in previous games, his percentages were very high, 60%. Like, I don't expect that. But if we get close to 40, 50% on his attempts, on the sheer volume alone, he should cover 23 points.
Dig it. All right, I'm gonna move us along here because that took us to White Dante and Josh Hart, and I agree with everything Daft's saying. I want to look at Siakam real quick, and then I want to move on to the other game. So if I go to Pascal. Originally, the request from Kelsey, I believe, was assists. So I don't know if she meant under or over because I don't think I ever got back to her. Now there's like just a barrage of comments that I don't know if I can find what she was saying. But I don't know what the look would be for the assists unless you were talking about under, to be honest. And it's at minus 1.
I think it's over.
You think so?
It's an over. Yeah.
On 2.5. I mean, there's just no edge either way because you get 2.5 for minus 160 or under, 3.5. If you like the over plus 138 on FanDuel for 3.5, I would have to ask what you're looking at, to be honest. I mean, he had 9 potentials last game. I guess that makes sense. 7, you can still get 4 off of 7. And then 2 in between where he went 3 and 4. The minutes, he lost some minutes in game 4 over or game 3 over here. And then he was still at 36 though in the other 2. I don't know. I wouldn't really know why. Like there would be a reason behind it. I guess maybe like sometimes you like to get offensive boards and then kickouts. People look for that as an angle. I don't. Do we like him for boards? Maybe is that a part of it? Like, do you have a thought process on his stuff here?
I think it's purely based on numbers. It's got nothing to do with the recent games and form. It's really about if you think about Pascal Siakam as a player. Like his line set at 2.5. It's usually at 3.5. And that's where I think it should be. And you're getting major plus money for that. And a lot of that's due to recent form. The 9 potential assists in the previous game, it probably gives you a lot of optimism as to what could happen. And I think Pascal Siakam, like his potential assists are never really high, but his assist to potential assist ratio is up there. So even if he's getting 6 to 7 potential assists, he could cover quite easily. It's going to be painful because he probably won't pass it that much.
Right.
But I think it's just purely based on value and historical form. Like that number it's piss weak, that line. Recent form is not great. I get that. But I think
I get what you're saying. I'm trying to even think of the situation where I thought he was going to take so many more shots last game. And that's what I think I'm still hung up on. And maybe he didn't need to last game. So that doesn't really matter. Right. Yeah. He didn't need to.
but he'll have a mismatch most times.
That's what I'm saying, right? Like it's been Josh Hart's assignment, has it not?
Yeah.
Recently? Yeah.
It's Josh Hart and a bit of Precious. I think points plus assists is the way for Siakam because I think they align well. But ultimately, you need him to get the ball, and you need him to either score, or if he goes to score and they double, then he can potentially get a dump off or something like that. So those players are aligned, in my opinion.
So I thought, because I thought that his next box score would look a lot more like this, but this is game 3. So let me look at game 4 real quick and see, because Precious probably started on him. I just want to see that the matchup, not like I'm going to like glean anything important from this, but I'm just looking at like Pascal on offense going like, started. It seems like it was probably mostly Josh Hart, and this is what I'm saying. Like, I guess he just didn't need to play, but that's not a matchup.
He was 5 from 5. Like his percentage was through the roof. They just didn't need to go to him. They were like up 20. Like Siakam's the guy they give the ball to with 6 seconds on the clock, and their offense has crashed. Right. The offense didn't crash. There was no breakdown. So Siakam's that last touch type of guy, and they didn't need him. So
I would be going to him is my thing, because I think if they're gonna give Josh Hart that assignment, that's mouse in the house right there. That's you got to put your hand to the floor too little, right? Like So okay, cool. It sounds like you got what Kelsey was saying, which was basically like, okay, I get what you're saying. Then I mean, that's good logic. I appreciate that. Maybe we need to start doing a little bit of call-in stuff too, so that we can like hear what people have to say, so that I can get that because
hotline.
I wanted to hear what Kelsey's reasoning was there too, but that's interesting. All right. I feel that. I'm gonna stay away from Siakam's assist because I still am on this kick that like he should be just taking Josh Hart and putting him under the basket and just making a layup every time.
I think the PA is the way.
Yeah. Okay. Yeah. If you're gonna add the assists, go with the points and assists.
Yeah.
Because him having the ball in his hands, I think that's good. Johnny Rick is on one, bro. He needs good locks from us so he can buy a new house. No, you need.
And if you already got one, don't worry about a new one.
Yeah, you got. Let me get a house. All right, I'm gonna move past this game real quick because I don't want to just ignore Minnesota Denver, and we can get into that. Can I? I'll just say ant over everything, and ants over cats. I'll say that for sure. That's where I'm at. But you're on over cat, right? Should we start with Carl? Because like I was saying real quick, for those of y'all that weren't here yet, because we got a lot more people than when I said this last, I kind of opened up the stream by being like, if I'm talking to Carl Towns and I'm a coach or somebody, I'm going to go up to him and be like, Carl, can I have a minute, Carl? Less is more. All right, buddy. Have you heard the phrase less is more? I need you to abide by that. If it doesn't say Edwards on the back of your jersey, then pass it to the guy who does say Edwards on the back. That's where I would be with him. But what do you think?
I agree. But what I would say, knowing what people are like, right? Imagine if someone was like, Josh, I need you to do less. Like, I need you to do less videos. I need you to put less bets. Less is more. That'll take a hit to your confidence, right?
Yes.
Now, coaches know people aren't going to respond that way. So what are they actually going to be saying to him? You keep going, boy. No. You go at him. You take more shots. You stay aggressive. They can't guard you. Like, that's what they're going to say to him.
Oh. Are they the ones telling him, hey, if just because you haven't shot in 5 offensive possessions doesn't mean you need to shoot on the 6th?
Yeah, they'll say play confident, play through it, keep going, keep pushing. That's how they operate, because these
as a coach yourself, is that how you operate when you coach people, or do you look for them and try to pull the best out of them? Like, hey man, get those rebounds, or what?
I do both. You got to pump them up. You got to pump up some tires. Right, okay. It's the same thing with coaching for performance and coaching with players. You pump up tires. If they're not doing something well, you pump up their tires, because if they're lacking in confidence, that's what they need. And this zesty motherfucker needs confidence.
I would argue he's overconfident.
He pouts. He pouts. He complains. He whinges. I hate him, but I like the over today.
You're right. It's fake. It's fake bravado, because he's such a scared little boy on the inside.
Yeah,
such a good point.
Like, he's confident if he's dropping his shoulder into people and taking it to the rack. That's a confident Karl Anthony Towns. Yeah. But when he's taking bad shots, he's just forcing things up. So,
all right.
My thought process is we should still see some volume. Loves it on the road. He loves the altitude in Denver. His voice gets a little bit higher. That's one of his favorite things in the world. And I think we should see a regression regression to the mean when it comes to his percentages. I don't think he shoots that bad again.
Yeah, that was a a sort of stalling factor for myself with just the under for him was like you can't shoot 5 for 18 again. But then again, I don't think he should be taking 18 shots. But
no, I agree. He shouldn't be, but I think he will.
Yeah. So I took under 21.5 PA. But you just took the points, right?
I just took the points.
All right. I'm going to put 19.5 points as a poll real quick and go over or under and see what we get here. I'll add the pass option, steal that from Kyle the Source, because Kyle does a good job of making sure you can also just pass, because you don't have to bet on stuff, just so you guys know. So if you want to, you can just pass on it. But I put that as a poll. So let me know what you guys think about Cat in the on the YouTube channel there. If you're in the other ones, obviously you can't get that, but I'll just give you an early look. The under is now ahead 40%, but it's going back and forth between, the under's a little bit ahead, but we'll see. I mean, we'll move past Cat for now. Such a polarizing figure. What about Jamal? Did you have a look for him real quick? Because the first request was to look at his points, and I kind of want to do that and let you get in if you had something about it, though.
My initial, I didn't take any bets on Jamal because as much as I try to avoid it, the data it influences my thinking a lot, and I'm trying to get away from that because that doesn't work in the playoffs, or it hasn't worked so far.
Regular season data?
Just even recent data. Regular season is not working, but even the recent data, it hasn't been supporting me as much as I'd like. But my initial lean is over for points, or over in points and assists, and that's purely because of the adjustments Denver have made in game 3 and 4. So game 1 and 2, Jamal Murray struggled because he was playing a traditional point guard and he was getting picked up 94 feet, right? And you're probably on the other side of that. I know your comp was Pat Beverly or something, but when I've played representative basketball and I got picked up full court, especially I'm only 5'7", right? You might be a little bit taller than me, but I was playing guys who were 6'1", 6'3", and they'll pick me up full court, and that was gassing the shit out of me. Like that was it was a torture chamber on a court. And that was happening to Jamal Murray in games 1 and 2 with a calf strain, right? Game 3 and 4, knowing that the Wolves are going to pick them up, the coaches, Malone's made some changes. Now Aaron Gordon is bringing up the ball because
I saw that.
Rudy's defending him. He's not going to pick him up full court. So that Jamal Murray's playing off the ball. He's fresher. I wouldn't take any unders, that's for sure. So I'm leaning the over purely because their sets are different and he's got fresher legs.
That makes total sense. I think you can get front court. No, you can't get front court touches. But I'm looking at the last game, and Aaron Gordon, had 69 touches. I love when a player has 69 touches. It is just such a perfect stat for that. Now we're talking about Jamal with 72. So this is an illustration. You got to watch the games to be able to get this stuff. Like if you watch the games, you watched Aaron Gordon bring the ball up, that would stand out to you if you are consistently watching them, because you go, Aaron Gordon is the point guard. He doesn't even look comfortable if someone actually pressures him, but nobody's pressuring him because Rudy Gobert is guarding him. So that's not somebody who can pressure him on the ball. That's a great start to that point. Then you look at Jamal's touches. 72 indicates he's waiting for the ball to come to him essentially before he even touches it, because Aaron Gordon's the one bringing it up first each time. And Jamal's not even the first pass every time, right? Like sometimes it goes to Jokic, who obviously destroys in the touches category here. So the point there would be Jamal. What would you do with that, though? Now, is Jamal more likely to score, or you're just like, I don't even know what to do with this for Jamal?
I think he's more likely to be efficient, really.
Yeah. Right.
So he's still touching the ball on most sets, or all sets, really. He's just not responsible to bring it up, right? Get hounded, run 3 pick and rolls, hand off. Like he's not running everywhere. He's kind of playing off the ball, off ball screen, gets it, and then they get into their actions. Yeah. So more efficient play is what I'm saying.
Understood there. I really do like the assists a bit more. I know he had a lot in this last game, but now that I'm thinking about it, so Jokic, I just want to see if this still holds true. Jokic has been known to stats on the road and at home this season. He's been known to score more on the road and assist more at home. But this season, it wasn't really the case. He scored pretty much the same amount of points. He took one more shot, but I don't think this is much of a difference to let you know. The assists are a little bit higher too, because I think he is a little bit more focused on scoring on the road. But this is just something to consider in general. It's not like you can just use this as your Bible, but in the playoffs, I wanted to see too. This playoffs, actually doesn't even hold true in the playoffs. So there's nothing really there anymore. It used to be this narrative that he scored more. I mean, he does have 3 more points per game on the road, but that could also be that they're winning at home.
Yeah.
Right. Yeah. So I don't think you can do much with that. I don't, and that was going to impact whether or not I took Jamal assists or rebounds or points or assists or whatnot. But I think I'm good on that. Yo, great call here though. Who just said that? Velvet Lou was like, that's what the Knicks need to do. Yeah, damn right. Like Jalen Brunson's not doing enough. He needs to take the ball up every time too with TJ McConnell in his freaking jock strap. Like that sucks. So all right, cool. I was a pass on Jamal too. I just don't like the inconsistencies and like this is a game that you have to win. The thing here too. So if we look at like Jokic for a minute, just because it's a natural sort of next thing, like for me with Jokic, it was okay. Well, when Rudy's guarding him, then he's going at Rudy to score every time. But Rudy's not guarding him anymore, right? Cat is guarding him, which is another reason that I'm like, the Cat going under is only ever aided by his terrible defense, which nets him on the bench or with fouls or because, Finch is like, I can't anymore with this. You got to come off the floor. And Naz Reid has been really good defensively. But now we have a situation where he's not, right? So I'm going to go back into this. That was the case last game, I believe, as well, right? Like Jokic was not guarded by Rudy. He was guarded by Cat more.
Yeah.
So when when Cat comes off the floor, then they change it back up. But yeah, Rudy.
His shot attempts skyrocket when Rudy's on him.
Right. There you go. That's what I'm trying to show. Thank you.
Yeah.
12 attempts versus Rudy in 4 minutes and 44 seconds. So that is the point of what I'm trying to say here is like so I would still not be going under on Jokic points. Let me start with that. Like this is a game for him to score. Last game was a game that I know some people took under assists, and that's still scary to me. I just don't think there's an edge on Joker either way anymore. Did you have a thought on Jokic?
Yeah, I actually spoke a bit about Jokic in my last video. The fact that I can't bet on him. His lines are too high. Like, and he's one of those guys very similar to LeBron. Like he's going to bring it every game, whether he plays good or not. The stats will be there, and that's what we're betting on, to him to either hit or not hit stats.
Yeah.
My thought process is to just look for the opportunities to bet on under in his PRA. His PRA is set so high, he nearly has to play a perfect game in order to cover it.
Right.
He hasn't covered his PRA once in the series.
Right.
So his good scoring games have been offset by low rebounding games and vice versa. So in order for him to cover his PRA, monster scoring night, big rebounds, and almost 10 assists. Like that's
right. Yeah, he didn't get it with 35 points in the last game. Wow. Yeah. Did you take this?
I'm close to. I'm on the fence.
I know. I kind of want to take that too because I took it last 2 games actually under 50.5 PRA. In fact, I got 51.5 for this game right here.
Yeah,
or one of them. I can't remember, but minus 104, and you can get 51.5 now too. It looks like this has been updated. So
I'm also streaming and watching the game, and I feel like if I put that bet on, I'll be like it'll be painful for me to watch because you're just going to be racking up stats the whole game, and I'm going to be counting more than I'm going to be watching.
It's true. And it's one of those things where like every tip in rebound is going to be a dagger in the side of your head. I'm just like, oh great, 2, 3 in one play, wonderful. Or he takes the shot, gets the just plays taps at the rim before he fucking. Yeah, I know. Let me put that.
If I wasn't watching it, I'd hammer that straight away.
Right. So you're streaming today on Playback?
Yeah, stream it every day up until Thursday.
Nice. I like that. Joker under 51.5 PRA is a lean right now for the kid. That's where I'm at with that. Let me put a few more things on here. I'm going to probably call this in the next like 15 for everybody. So I just want to make sure everybody gets their stuff in. Ant, like if you, whatever, I'm not even looking at Ant. The answer is over. There's 0 unders to be had with Anthony Edwards. He's going to have the ball in his hands the whole time. He's going to take 25 to 29 shots. He's going to get to the free throw line 7 times. He's going to take 8 threes. Like there's no reason to go under anything for Ant Edwards. So if you're asking me about any of these stats right now, the answer is over. I hope that's clear. Did you have a thought on Ant-Man real quick besides that he's fucking awesome?
He is fucking awesome. He delivered for me in that last game. I had him I had everything that you have him on. I've had him on in the last game.
Okay. I did too last game, but I'm still with it.
I was pretty happy with that. Yeah, I'd definitely lean to the over. I'm not taking the bet just because like it feels too good to be true. Like it feels like such an easy pick, and it might just cash easily, right? That's how I think it's such a easy way to play it. And I was like, I've been burnt so many times by these types of plays. So just personally, I'm like, something in my gut makes me feel uneasy. I've got no reason not to bet it other than that. Yeah, all the numbers say yes. They can't slow him down. He needs to be aggressive in order for them to win.
So that's what I come back to. Like, this is the moment in time where you got to be like, you do get something from post game, or like, not everything that's said, right? You're still gonna get coach speak and all this stuff, but like here's where it didn't work with Kyrie last game. It didn't work. He just kept diming up and not getting the points. I should have listened to my boy Free Sauce on that one, because he was calling for Kyrie assists and I already had him for points. But done with Kyrie, by the way, done. More importantly, the stuff that Ant was saying after the game of the game before, right? And Ant is 1A alpha and Kyrie is 1B alpha. So like, it's not the same apples to apples. But when he says, yo, it's just my fault, I got to take more shots and I got to be aggressive early, it's like, okay, I think Ant's going to go for 40 tonight. And sure enough, he did. I really wish I would have just gone in on it like that. But I'm going back to it for that same reason. Like, there's nothing else to be said about Ant. Like, there's nobody to guard him. So let me do some Rudy Gobert for a minute. Real quick, did you have a thought on him? I'll let you go first once again.
Je suis pamplemousse. I don't know what that means.
I am grapefruit.
Is that what that means?
Yeah. You are a grapefruit, dude.
What are my thoughts on Rudy? I had a lean for him to go over on his boards. Okay. I thought that line is 11.5. I think that's lower than
now.
Well, I had it at 11.5.
Yeah, you can still get 11. Yep.
Yeah. I had a lean for that, but I ultimately didn't take it. I don't know. I just haven't been feeling Rudy. In the past, he's got great numbers against the Joker, scoring-wise as well. Yeah. But I feel like one thing that's hindered his scoring is the emergence of Anthony Edwards. Because as Anthony Edwards' usage rate goes up, the chances Rudy shoots the ball goes down. A lot of these shots, I reckon half of his shots come from an offensive rebound.
Yeah.
And the less Mike Conley's running a pick and roll, the less chances that Rudy has to touch that ball.
Right. So that's what it comes down to.
Look great, but watching them play, it leaves me a bit hesitant.
Yep. So. Yeah. It's when he's running the pick and roll, but that's not even their play anymore. It's Ant, go ahead and do Ant stuff. You know what I mean?
He's just doing Gortat screens now. Like, he runs a pick and roll, and then he's just grabbing as many people down at the rim to let Anthony Edwards make a layup. Like, that's the new play.
I got to be honest. When I started the live stream today, I did not think Marcin Gortat was going to come up at any point in time. So I'm just so happy to hear you talk about the Polish pulverizer or whatever he's called.
He had that Jordan tattoo, right?
I think
the Jumpman tattoo?
Yes.
Oh, he was a beast.
Marcin Gortat, what a ref. You're seriously known for your references, bro. The 11.5 boards on the chances. So one of these games he missed. Where am I going here for the chances? 18, 21, 10 in this game is interesting, but this was a blowout, right? So nobody played. And he missed a game. So he's at 21 and 18 rebound chances to get 13 boards. Feels pretty doable. I think their rebounds are fine. The points should be higher. You're 100% right. Like, if you look at head-to-head in the well, this is last playoffs. Let me take playoffs off real quick. So in the regular season this year, I mean, 2 of them going over, and then, in the playoffs, just not quite as much. But I think the playoffs is what you're saying comes down to. So if you're playing Rudy anything here, I think you take the 11.5 boards. On the season, he averaged more than that. He averaged 12.7. Head-to-head this year. Well, let me do it this way. 2023. Let's do versus Denver. 2023.4. So, okay, earlier in the year, if you do take the 11.5, he's gone over that extra time there. So I think that is the play more than anything if you're taking Rudy. I'll put him on the leans. So if you are asking about Rudy, which I know a couple people were, then you know what we're talking about here. So I'll put Rudy leans on the rebound is what I would go with, but over Rebs. We'll do that. All right. Got that in there. Let's do 1 or 2 more here. I want to make sure I didn't miss anybody that people were talking about. Is Kyle Anderson available today is a great question. And Nas was somebody I want to look at. We'll look at that real quick. But and now we've got a Reggie Jackson look. Let me ask you, is there anybody else that you want to go over before I do it? Look at another thing or a bet that you had from this one?
I didn't find too many other bets outside of Cat, and then I was close to taking Rudy. There was nothing else I had confidence in taking. I had a whole list of leans from Mike. I did bet on Mike Conley. If you want to talk about Magic Mike.
Yeah, let's get to Magic Mike.
Because I was close to not taking him. I eventually took his 9.5 rebounds and assists for plus money. My only reservation was that, I don't know if you saw in that last game when he fouled Christian Braun under the ring and he got lifted off the ground.
Yeah.
And I was watching that live and I was like, damn, this guy's older than me. And I swear if that happened to me, I wouldn't go to work for a few weeks. And he's got to suit up 2 days later. So
Facts. He did land directly on his shoulder.
Yeah. That's why I didn't take the PRA, but the RA, I felt more comfortable with that.
So the P scares you more than the RA because
of that fall. I don't know how. Like everyone's banged up in the playoffs, but
yeah,
I saw that happen. So like shit.
Yeah. I was talking about this last time. I think it was Flo Farrow who said he liked Mike Conley RA instead of just like Mike Conley rebounds or assists. And that was what we ended up taking, which was smart because he only ended up getting 2 boards, but he had 9 assists. Yeah. And I still like the assists way more than the boards. But I don't know, have the board. Yeah, the boards have probably covered him. So 6 right here didn't get the assist, but then he got the 6 boards and that covered him. So getting the rebounds has definitely helped him get over the RA. In this one, he had 10 already, but yeah, even in this one, right? This is in both of these. So I dig that for Mike, putting them both together. And the points are always a little bit scary because it's really like, honestly, for Mike Conley, it's a make or miss league. He's going to get a specific amount of shots, and he's
9 shots.
It's going to make them or he's not. Where's he at? So like anywhere like 12 for sure feels like the ceiling. And when you have a ceiling on somebody like that, because he's dependent on getting fed the ball by others, it's a little bit scary to go over on the points consistently. So, Justin, we're over on the rebounds, bro. We talked about this. You know that. This is like the 4th time you're bringing it up, fam. Like,
please.
It's on the bottom line. You got this. It's for you. Take that over. Don't feel bad about it. The rebound chances are going to keep being there for our boy Aaron Nesmith. And I added the points because I think he's going to have a little bit positive regression there with the shooting after 0 for 4 from 3. So yeah, go ahead and take that, Justin. You're good to go. I think, I'll put Mike Conley as the lean under there too, so we can get a couple more in here because that's exactly where I would lean for him if I was taking a Mike Conley bet. So we'll put Conley over RA, and you get the plus even money. It's even money for the RA, right?
Plus 110. I got.
Yeah, that's good luck. Let's pull up everyone's favorite Nas. Nas is like, where's Nas at? Naz Reid, 10.5 points. Went over last game. That was a bit of scrub play. You only had 19 minutes. Took 6 shots. So he was pretty hot from 3 or from everywhere. He shot 83% from the field, 50% from deep on just 2 of the attempts. So I get a little bit of scared with Nas because of the volume and the minutes not being reliable. But if I'm going under on Karl Towns, I either think he's missing a lot of shots or I think he's not getting quite as many minutes. Somebody was asking me if Slow-Mo Anderson was available. I didn't hear anything about him being potentially hurt. Did you?
No, and I wouldn't look at him anyway.
No,
I don't like the look of his head.
Yeah, Slow-Mo is not someone I'm trying to bet on either. I just want to know if he's going to steal minutes from anybody, but I don't think so. He's a backup 5. Like, Nas. No, you're good, Justin. You're good. I just wanted to make sure you know that the bet's good and live to go, brother. You're good to go. Julius Jones is in this chat too. Welcome, Julius. That's not Julio Jones. Julius Jones was the backup. Anyway, Nas Reid points. Did you have a thought on Nas as I'm just like ADDing all over the place real quick?
I originally had this as a lean. Ultimately chose not to take it. I did take him in the last game, points plus rebounds, and that just covered. And that was a very sweaty bet because, Carl didn't get into foul trouble. So Nas didn't get much time.
Right.
And I feel like I think it really comes down to who do you think wins this game? If you see the Timberwolves running away with it, then Nas, you have to take the over. That just makes so much sense to me. But if you think Denver continues to flex this massive dong and wave it across Minnesota's face, then Nas may not get a run. Or not the run that you'd expect.
Yeah.
I think as the Timberwolves go, Nas goes.
Yeah. That's interesting. Like, as the Timberwolves go, so goes Nas. Yeah.
Yeah.
Not the other way around at all, but like he can impact it. But yeah, this is what you get scared of is like somebody hitting 5 of 6 shots to get their points. He made a 3, right? So that's why he ended with 13 points?
11.
11? Oh, right. Because one of these was the 3. Idiot. Yeah. So, right. So 11 because he made a 3. If he misses that 3 and even makes one more 2, he's at 10. Right.
He always makes a 3 though. I think he makes a 3 in every game. But
the
volume wasn't there for me. I just thought,
this is head to head on the season. So in the 4 of this playoffs, I don't think there's anything for me to like with Nas at this high. Like Nas is another guy. What's that? Yeah, no
There's
edge.
No
right?
edge. You'd only be betting it because he's hit it like 4 out of 6 or whatever it is. That's the only reason. So
thank you for saying that, because that's 100% right. This is the same concept with TJ McConnell, y'all, that I was saying earlier, which is like TJ McConnell is going to take 10 shots. Like, book it. That means he needs to hit 6 of them, because you do not want to bank to get 11 points, though.
He'll hit 5. Yeah, that's what I'm saying.
That's why he will hit 5. Exactly.
Yeah, he'll make 5.
4 or 5. And now you're like, please hit a 3 or get to the free throw line.
And he doesn't do that.
And he hit 2 threes last game to get him to the 15 points, by the way. So just keep that in mind. There's some anomaly games in there, but it's the same thing with Nas. Like, yes, they want him on the floor for the fact that they want to be big. But if Karl doesn't get into foul trouble, then yeah, to your point, like, he's just going to stay out there. So I don't think you can look at that Nas stuff and feel comfortable. Let's see. Karl played. Yeah, he played 38 minutes last game. That's kind of what we're saying here. So if you project Karl to play about that much, which RotoWire, and this is obviously fouls not considered.
How accurate is this projection thing, by the way?
These are usually pretty close, I'll be honest. If you have an account to establish the run, that's a little bit pricier than RotoWire. But if you have an account to that, those dudes are money when it comes to their projections. They are able to really pinpoint shit, and like, not just their time projections, but their volume and stat projections are like really good. But I believe it's $200 a year. And so that's harder for me to like promote that one, but that would be better as well. And I have my buddy's account, which they're really weird about, like, you signing in on different devices and stuff. So I basically just like have him send me a screenshot every day of both of them. But yeah, that's how you get around this stuff. All right, I think I'm gonna call it here, because I got to get my mind right for the Knicks and put some bets down, and maybe say a prayer, do a little meditation, and all that kind of stuff. Toppin was one other I didn't get to, but like for Toppin, like, it's the same concept. I went under on the rebounds for Obi, just so everybody knows that's on the bottom line. I'll throw that in the comments of this posted video on YouTube and pin it. You're going to be on playback.tv, right?
You know it.
Did you set, if you don't mind, can you send a link in the Discord as well?
Absolutely. I'll share it everywhere, streaming both games today. So I had a few guys up on the stage with me. There was 3 of us chopping it up, and it was mad. So I want to get as many people on that stage writing bets. Like the guys yesterday, I think they took Derek Jones Jr. to make 2 3-pointers as a live bet, and he made his first, and then he missed 4 straight. And watching these guys cry was it was funny. It was awesome. But
nothing brings people together like hating the dude who didn't hit the bet for them.
Yeah. And he caught it so many times on the perimeter wide open. He pump fake and he drove.
Yeah, he had 17 points. He had a great game. He just didn't have the game you needed him to have.
Shout out to you, Street Cred. Blowing up the Lux.
He's a real one for sure.
Yeah.
All right, cool. So hit up Daft on YouTube as well. Brings you guys that stuff in really good time, because like no one else is awake except for him. So he's able to do it at this like peak moment in time to get that YouTube video up. So check that out for today if you haven't yet. I'm going to have projection video tonight for tomorrow as well, and then we'll be back here tomorrow on the live stream. And whenever Daft doesn't have work, we'll get his ass back on here. So thanks for sharing these bets, my brother. We will we'll be talking soon. I'll try to jump on the playback TV if I can, but if you don't have the link to the Discord is in the description of the video, so make sure you're jumping in there. It's free right now and all that, so it's good to go. All right, y'all. Gamble responsibly if there's a way to do that. And then until I do see you guys next, happy betting.